So I finally watched season 4 of The Boys, and it was not as good as I thought it would be. In the last couple of videos that I made about this show, I tend to like most of the episodes, if not all of them, but I started noticing in season 4 there were a couple of episodes in there that I didn't really care for, or that I wouldn't even watch if I were to rewatch the show. And that's the exact same way season 5 is. There's a lot of things in here that don't really make sense, like episode-wise, because there's some episodes that seem very slow, and then there's others that seem very rushed, like the finale, which is one of the main reasons this show kind of failed season 4. In my last video, when I talked about Acolyte, there's a lot of things that I didn't like about the show, but I could say that the show overall wasn't awful until I got to the last episode. The finale ruined the entire show for me. And then here's The Boys, where the finale was not really that good. I would say season 4 was good all the way up until about episode 6 or 7, and then it started slacking a lot. And not just that, there was not enough time to close any plot lines, or barely any, if anything, which at the end of the final episode, it left a lot to be desired. You know, they also added a very annoying character, such as Firecracker. She's pretty awful. I mean, I say that, but I also didn't like Stormfront when she was originally in the show, so it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna have more to do with her in, like, season 5, that she was just not a good character, and she just kissed Homelander's ass. The final episode is the worst episode of the season. It's not even, like, the final scenes. It's mainly what leads up to the finale. In this season and in this finale, we see the heroes lose, which is not something we see a whole lot in modern media. Also, I would say Butcher is mainly the big reason for why the final episode is the way that it is. I would say majority of the issues actually come with him in that final episode, but even I saw this coming. I mean, a majority of the things that happened throughout the season with Butcher was going to lead to this, so there was no surprise there. Now, it's not to say that there wasn't good things about this season. I mean, there was a good redemption arc for A-Train, but, you know, the issue is that he is nowhere to be seen in the finale at all, which was kind of confusing because they spent a majority of these episodes building up A-Train in general, and then just to kind of throw him out in the end doesn't really make much sense. Now, we're also talking about good character development. Let's talk about some weird character development, especially with Homelander. Homelander is the scariest and craziest he's ever been in any of the seasons. I mean, he was straight up killing people for no reason, or if they caused him any type of trauma in the past. Now, just some nitpicks that did kind of get on my nerves throughout the season was that there was a lot of scenes that were just added randomly for shock value, which is fine. I mean, that's how it was in season 1, 2, and 3, but I think it got kind of stupid. At least most of the things that were happening in the earlier seasons had something to do with the plot. Also, there's a lot of things going on, and it can easily make you lose track of, like, the entire main plot. For instance, you kind of forget that Victoria is even running for any political power for like 2 episodes because of how many things are going on throughout the entirety of these episodes that, by the way, some of this does not even need to be in the show. For instance, Victoria, throughout the entirety of like episode, I think it's 3 and 4, you kind of forget that she's even evil or that she wants political power, you know, because there's so many things going on, it just kind of makes you forget. But of course, the worst thing about this season, I mentioned it multiple times, was the ending, but I kind of want to talk about it fully, so it's spoilers from here on. So in the ending, of course, we see that Homelander is now going to be like, what, acting president or like whatever. It's kind of confusing, but he's pretty much has all the power of what a president would have and more. And then Butcher goes off on his own, nowhere to be seen. Huey gets captured, Starlight escapes, Frenchie gets brainwashed, and Kamiki cries out and all that stuff. That's pretty sad, obviously, but this ending in general really makes me feel like half of the things that we saw throughout season 4 just kind of left on a weird note. Now, of course, I don't mind this for season 5, but it's the fact that season 5 is going to be 2 years away, and it's going to be a very long time before we can see any of that content, and a lot of the payoff or whatever it was from season 4 is going to be gone. Now, I didn't watch Gen V, and I don't plan on it, but I do want to understand what a lot of this means. So I don't know if Gen V is correlated within that finale. I don't really know, which I don't think it is. Overall, I think the show is fun. This season is not close to the other seasons. I still think that season 3 is perfect. So while yeah, season 4 could have been way better, it's fine. It's just a TV show. We'll just have to see what happens, you know, in 2 years. Can't wait. 6 out of 10.
Oi, Huey. Homelander done killed me wife and took me bloody son. Womp womp.